Have you ever driven down a lonely, rain-slicked road late at night? The kind of road where the darkness seems to swallow the beams of your headlights, and every shadow plays tricks on your eyes. It's on nights like these, on roads just like this, that one of the most enduring and chilling urban legends is born: the Vanishing Hitchhiker. It's a story told in countless variations, in nearly every country, whispered around campfires and shared in hushed tones. But what if it's more than just a story? Tonight, we were picking up that solitary figure on the side of the road and driving straight into the heart of this terrifying phenomenon. We'll explore the most famous cases, delve into the spine-chilling details, and question what could possibly be behind these ghostly encounters. So, buckle up, check your rearview mirror, and don't stop for anyone. You're about to journey into the world of the Vanishing Hitchhiker. The classic tale usually goes something like this. A driver, often alone, spots a person thumbing for a ride on a desolate stretch of highway. Feeling a mix of sympathy and unease, the driver pulls over. The hitchhiker, most often a young woman, quietly gets in, giving an address not too far away. The ride is silent or filled with cryptic, melancholic conversation. Upon arriving at the destination, the driver turns to say goodbye, only to find the passenger seat completely empty. The hitchhiker has vanished into thin air. Puzzled and a little spooked, the driver might knock on the door of the given address. An elderly resident answers, and their face drains of color as the driver describes the passenger. They reveal that the person described is their daughter, who was tragically killed in a car accident on that very same road, years ago, on this very night. Sometimes, the driver even finds a personal item left behind on the car seat, a scarf, a book, or a sweater, which the family identifies as belonging to their lost loved one. This basic structure has been adapted and retold for generations, but one of the most famous and well-documented cases is that of Resurrection Mary. This legend haunts the roads around Resurrection Cemetery in Justice, Illinois, just outside of Chicago. The story dates back to the 1930s and centers on a beautiful young woman with blonde hair and blue eyes, often seen wearing a white party dress. Dozens of drivers have reported picking up a young woman matching this description along Archer Avenue. She's said to be quiet and ethereal. Some men have even claimed to have danced with her at the O. Henry Ballroom, only for her to ask for a ride home, directing them down Archer Avenue. As they pass the gates of Resurrection Cemetery, she vanishes from the car. The most cited origin story is that of Mary Bregovy, a young woman who was killed in a car crash in 1934 after a night of dancing. Her ghost, it is said, is forever trying to get home. What makes this case so compelling are the sheer number of eyewitness accounts spanning decades. Cabbies, local residents, and passing motorists have all shared remarkably similar stories. There have even been reports of the cemetery gates being found bent outwards, with handprints seared into the metal, as if someone had tried to push their way out from the inside. But this isn't just an American phenomenon. The legend echoes across the globe. In the United Kingdom, on Bluebell Hill in Kent, drivers have reported hitting a young woman who runs out into the road, only to find no one there when they get out to check. The legend is tied to the tragic death of a bride-to-be who was killed in a car crash on the eve of her wedding in 1965. She's often seen in her wedding dress, a sorrowful figure doomed to haunt the A229. Similarly, South Africa has its own famous vanishing hitchhiker, the Uniondale Ghost. The story goes that on Easter weekend in 1968, a young woman named Maria Rue was killed in a car accident near the town of Uniondale. Since then, numerous motorists have reported picking up a female hitchhiker in that area. She gets in the car, makes small talk, and then, as they approach Uniondale, she lets out a chilling laugh or a scream before disappearing completely, leaving behind the scent of apples or a sudden drop in temperature. The consistency of these reports, from people who often have no prior knowledge of the local legend, is what makes them so unsettling. So, what are we to make of these tales? Are they all just spooky stories passed down through the years, or is there something more to them? Let's start with the skeptical explanations. Folklorists see the Vanishing Hitchhiker as a modern cautionary tale. In its earliest forms, it may have served as a warning about the dangers of picking up strangers, or a reminder of the fragility of life. The story adapts to the fears of the time. In the age of the automobile, the danger became car crashes. The hitchhiker often represents a tragic victim, a ghostly reminder to drive safely. The story's persistence can be attributed to something called ostension, where people act out a legend or interpret a real-world event through the lens of a story they already know. For example, a driver might see a shadow or be tired and hallucinate a figure, and their brain, already primed with the legend, fills in the blanks. It is a powerful form of cultural storytelling that resonates deeply with our collective anxieties about the unknown and the open road. From a psychological perspective, these experiences could be explained by highway hypnosis or microsleeps. Long, monotonous drives, especially at night, can put the brain into a semi-trance-like state. In this condition, it's entirely possible to have vivid waking dreams or hallucinations. The mind could conjure the image of a person on the roadside, and the entire interaction could play out in the driver's head in a matter of seconds. The sudden realization that the passenger is gone could simply be the driver snapping back to full consciousness. Another theory points to misidentification. A driver might offer a ride to a real person who, for their own reasons, decides to slip out of the car unnoticed when the driver is distracted or pulling over. This seems less likely for a moving vehicle, but perhaps when slowing down at their destination, a quick, quiet exit isn't entirely impossible, leaving the driver to assume a supernatural event occurred. But then, we have the paranormal theories, which for many are far more compelling. The most common explanation is that these hitchhikers are spirits tied to the location of their untimely death. This is known as a residual haunting. The spirit isn't intelligent or interactive in the way we might think. Instead, it's like a recording of a past event, replaying over and over again. The spirit of the young woman isn't consciously trying to get a ride home. Her final moments are simply imprinted on the environment, replaying for certain sensitive individuals to witness. This would explain why the interactions are often brief, silent, and repetitive. The ghost is simply going through the motions of its final journey, forever stuck in a loop. Another paranormal theory suggests these are intelligent hauntings. In this case, the spirit is aware of its surroundings and is consciously trying to interact with the living. Why? The reasons could be varied. Perhaps they are trying to deliver a message, a warning to other drivers to be careful on that dangerous stretch of road. The legend of the prophet hitchhiker is a variation where the passenger delivers a dire prophecy about the future before vanishing, adding another layer of purpose to their spectral presence. Or maybe they are simply lonely, confused, and trying to get home, not realizing that they have passed on. This idea is particularly heartbreaking, painting a picture of a lost soul perpetually seeking closure they can never find. This theory gains some traction when drivers report detailed conversations, or when the ghost leaves behind a physical object, the classic proof that challenges a purely psychological explanation. How do you explain a very real sweater appearing on your car seat? Let's not forget the possibility of interdimensional beings or time slips. Some theories propose that what drivers are experiencing isn't a ghost at all, but a brief, accidental glimpse into another time or another reality. A momentary tear in the fabric of space-time could allow a person from the past to appear in our present, only for the connection to sever just as quickly, causing them to vanish. This is a more esoteric idea, certainly, but it attempts to account for the physical solidity reported by some witnesses. They don't just see a transparent spectre, they see a solid person who opens the car door, sits on the seat, and then is simply gone. As we drive toward the end of our journey, the question remains, what truly happens on those dark, lonely roads? Are these encounters products of our own minds, shaped by cultural fears and the tricks of a tired brain? Are they echoes of tragedies, replaying like a scratched record for eternity? Or are they genuine, heartbreaking attempts by lost souls to finally make it home? Perhaps the truth is a combination of all these things. The Vanishing Hitchhiker legend endures, not just because it's a good scare, but because it touches on fundamental human themes: loss, grief, the randomness of fate, and the profound mystery of what lies beyond the veil of death. The road itself becomes a metaphor for the journey of life, with its unexpected turns and mysterious fellow travelers. The next time you're driving alone at night and see a solitary figure by the roadside, What will you do? Will you speed past, your heart pounding with the weight of these stories? Or will you slow down, even for a second, and wonder? The story is far from over. It's being written and rewritten every night on highways all over the world. What do you think? Have you ever had a strange encounter on a lonely road, or heard a local version of this legend? Share your own stories and theories in the comments below. I'd love to read them. Thanks for joining me on this chilling ride. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more journeys into the unknown. Until next time, stay safe and maybe take the well-lit roads.